Today I will be doing my presentation based off the change perspective analysis on Harriet Jacobs. Now for my first slide. Sorry. So I will now touch base on the background. Harriet Jacobs, she was born in 1813, Edenton, North Carolina. She died 1897. The genre of the whole scenario is based off a slave narrative. The book was published based off her own experiences during slavery, and the name of the book is called Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, written by herself. Okay, so now my third slide is basically more in depth of who she is and what she actually did. So, like other slaves, Jacob was born into enslavement. She was very literate at a young age, and she was orphaned as a child and had a good relationship with her grandmother. She was sexually assaulted and harassed numerous times throughout her life. And while still being a teenager, she ended up giving birth to two children. The biological father of her children was her neighbor. Due to her resilience, her masters or slavers tried to break the bond with her and her children by removing her away and sending her to work in a nearby plantation. The children of Harriet Jacobs were later purchased by their biological father and sent to the north. And also, the names of her children were Louisa Matilda Jacobs and Joseph Jacobs. She later fled and spent the next 7 years in hiding. After escaping the North in 1842, Harriet worked as a nursemaid in New York City. She also later worked in an anti-slavery reading room above Frederick Douglass building called the North Star. Also, her book was self-published in 1861, and she was arguably one of the most comprehensive slave narratives written by a woman. The book was later rediscovered in 1960s during the American Civil Rights Movement. These are just regular quotes that I've came by to. I'm going to read one of them. Season after season, year after year, I pecked at my children's faces and their sweet voices with a heart yawning all the while to say, your mother is here. Okay. Now, the origin of the abolition movement. The abolition movement started with the rationalist thinkers of the Enlightenment when during slavery, violations in the rights of man's Quakers and others. By the late 18th century, moral disapproval of slavery and was widespread, and the anti-slavery reformers won a numerous of deceivingly easy victories during this period. And last but not least, in 1842, Harriet secretly boarded a ship in the Edenton Harbor bound for Philadelphia. She later reunited with her children and her brother. And Harriet eventually gained her freedom and spent the 1860s performing relief work. And that will be it to conclude my change perspective analysis.